Thanks, Rob, and welcome everyone. It's really great to be here this morning. So, who are we? We're the #1 direct personal loans provider in South Africa. We've been operating since 1995. We primarily in insurance and the personal loans business, lending. So we have about 450,000 loan customers across 4 brands now and 140,000 insurance customers. Regulation and compliance came into our world a lot in the early 2000s and continues to be. We grew really rapidly and we began to specialize. So where we were a group of generalists, we became very specialized. We had specific areas focusing on specific things, as you do. We did this to become more efficient, to specialize, and to be a lot more focused. We measured a lot. For those of you who know contact centers, there are so many things you can measure. We measure how many calls you take, how long you take on the call, what the outcome was, how long you type after you've been on that call, how long between calls. And really we became individually efficient, I believe, in the silos, but jointly I think we started to become very ineffective. And our world was becoming a lot more complex. We became very removed from our customers, very removed from our people. The processes were broken. There were lots of customers moving from one area to the next and dropping off between them. They weren't really being able to complete their journey. We made decisions that were quite isolated and quite nonsensical. And there's so many examples of it. And really what it resulted in was unhappy customers. Our staff engagement, our staff turnover was increasing. Costs were higher because we were kind of following up doing the same things in different places over and over again. And what we live in our lives is conversion. So how many people came in and how many they got loans at the end of the day. We saw those figures being affected. We started on a journey of lean. We knew we had to do something different, and we spun out a separate team to test and to learn. We called it an end-to-end team, and the focus of that team was really to try and start doing things differently. So we hired people who had a passion for our business, a passion for our customers. We trained them to have every skill. We trained this group to do everything that they needed to get a customer from an application on a loan to being paid out. We trusted that they would do the right things. We allowed them to own the customer experience and the interaction with the customer. Once they touched or started an interaction with the customer, no one else would be with them. And then we started looking for a partner to help us because there was a lot of support our people needed. We did what we thought was right, kind of gap stuff. And then we came and we met Rob. And I remember sitting in the first meeting with Rob and he was drawing triangles and kind of level 1 things. I didn't understand what the earth this man was talking about. And then he was like, we do this farming industry and manufacturing. I was like, this is never going to work here. But I listened, and Zarika had worked with Rob before, and Nikki was really keen to start, so we started. And it was very different. It was very different to what we were used to, and it was also something that we were trying to convert from a manufacturing type of environment, from a farming type of environment to a contact center, which felt so different, but actually isn't really. So it was around just changing the language, but the concepts were absolutely universal. So we developed a new operating model. We said to our teams, our customer is really in the middle. They are foremost for us, and it was very much customer-led and team-driven. And the concept of team was very different for us as well. We were very individually focused, measured performance at an individual level. To move from individual, where you incentivize as individuals, to teams is a hard challenge, one we're still grappling with. And what we saw as results really with these teams was they worked in the MBU way. They rallied around their purpose. Each team had their own purpose. And we started to see work move faster. So customers got from application to pay up quicker. Agents were happier. They were part of the process. They were involved. Our customers were happier. They were said to us, we don't have to speak to 15 people anymore to do something. We speak to one person, it's the same person, or we speak to the person who sits next to them who knows me, who knows my story. Conversion rates were better, and we saw in the initial pilot about 40% improvement in conversion rates, which is amazing, and cost effectiveness improved. So for us it was a huge paradigm shift, a huge change in thinking, a lot of unlearning. I've been with the business, as I said, for 15 years, so a lot of the processes that exist and the systems that are there are systems that I've been involved in and probably been advocating. So for me it was a huge change in thinking. We schedule people, they go on tea when they're supposed to, we measure it, they adhere to it, send around reports every day, did you adhere? And now we were saying, well actually now it's up to the team to decide. We need 10 people here at this time, whichever 10 it is, we really don't care, it just needs to be 10. And you guys need to make those decisions. So it's the letting go, the trusting, I think is incredibly hard. Our leaders particularly have grappled with how they make this change from a heavily structured, controlled environment to involving and allow people to come up with solutions to their own problems. As I said, for me it was at times quite difficult. I remember Nikki chatting to me about some of the things she wanted to do and I was sitting there thinking, oh my word, please don't do that. But I had to keep quiet, I had to say, right, it's fine, try it, go for it. As wacky and weird as it sounds, and it's so contrary to everything that we've done for the last 13 years, but it's okay, go ahead, give it a try. And actually, it was fine. Everything worked out right, and you know, the team failed along the way, which is fine, but they came up with so many new ideas. And sitting in those level 1 team meetings, where it used to be the manager of the department talking and everyone listening and not saying a word, suddenly you went to these meetings in the teams, they met 3 times a day. You know, when things are going well and they're going easy, it's easy to make changes. But when business is under pressure, we have kind of have an elastic band that stretches, and it's hard to stretch, but when you let go, it goes screaming back. And that default action of, okay, things are bad, we need to change, and Azim, he's had to deal with a lot of that pressure of people saying, you know, why are you doing things this way? There's trouble in our business, let's go back to the way we were. And one of the things that Rob said to us in the beginning, which we didn't listen to, was that the easiest way for a business to do this is if you all get on together. Get everyone together, start together, get the supporting areas starting together. And we didn't really have that luxury for a whole lot of reasons. Business was going through a huge amount of change. But the teams who are in this, I think, have felt the pain of that, of the people around them not understanding what they're trying to achieve, not understanding what all these strange boards are that are on the wall and everyone comes and writes and stands next to. And because it's so fundamentally different, I think, the way we work, that organisational support and buy-in has been some of the challenges. So we're kind of here, why? In that I believe fundamentally that this approach and this way of working is the right thing to be doing. It's right for our customers. They tell us that, and the feedback they give us on a weekly basis. Our customer experience team send out compliments, how many compliments each area has gotten, and every week without fail, what we call the end-to-end area, which is the MBU area, have the highest number of compliments. They don't have the highest number of people, but they have the highest number of compliments. We pay out our customers a lot faster in those teams. The teams are generally happier and they're more engaged. So I've kind of gotten to, if it feels right, intuitively it's the right way of working, it's how people want to be with one another, it is the right thing to be doing. We'll persevere. So what we did develop were some key principles to guide all the new people coming into the environment, because it's very different to the way they work. What do they need to understand? And what do they need to hold true to whenever they're making decisions? So it's around coaching. We need to make sure we continually coach and that we drive ownership of our customer and our processes to our level 1 teams. And that the leadership team's role is there to unlock and to support them in achieving those outcomes. That there's strong accountability within those teams to deliver the outcomes that they need. And that the innovation and focus really is around improving our customers' experience and our agents' experience, with the end goal really of delivering those improved conversion rates that we spoke about earlier, with the customer very much at the center of everything we do. So, our journey is really far from over. We haven't been in it, I think you guys said 15 odd years. It's been a year and a bit, I think, year and a half since we've been on this journey. And there's going to be a huge amount of ups and downs, as Em just said. And a lot of people that we're going to have to bring along this journey with us. And it's not easy bringing people along who don't understand.